Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit more of some bookish content. I'm going to run through the books that I read last month and the books that I intend to read this month. I feel like my goals last month were very ambitious. In the month of March I was super busy. I was finishing coursework, I was doing assessments and exams, and when I go back I have mock exams, so a few of my videos are going to be pre-recorded and edited. Anyway, I think, I didn't go back and check, but I'm pretty sure this is 4 books to read. I think there was probably one more book, but I have no clue what book it was, so we're just going to go with these ones. These were the ones that were on my set TBR, so I was partway through City of Ashes, so obviously I had to finish City of Ashes. It was the City of Glass, and then I had the Assassin's Quest, which is a huge chunky book. Probably one of the worst months to put a chunky book in my TBR, to be perfectly honest. And then the bottom 2 were classics, but I was only going to choose one of the 2. I'm going to start off with the classics because I said I was only going to read one of these, and I didn't actually end up reading either of them. So I have Oscar Wilde and The Picture of Dorian Gray. Didn't read this one. I actually chose to pick up American Psycho by Brent, Easton, Ellis, and I read, how long did I read? I read about 50 pages and I chose to put this down. It's just a really disjointed narrative, and I understand why, because he's a psychopath. It's meant to be disjointed. He's going to have multiple different thoughts and feelings and scenarios of different situations. This was just a bit too far-fetched for me, I think. It was a bit too different of a writing style. I really struggle to read classics, and I think for me right now, this is just a little bit too complex and the structure just a little bit too disjointed for me to enjoy to the full level. I'm going to call it a DNF, but I do want to come back to this eventually. I think maybe I'll come back to it in the summer because I have a long summer. So maybe I'll come back to it in the summer, but for right now, I am just not vibing with this whole situation. I finished off the City of Ashes on the 1st of March, like I said, so it just kind of slips into the 1st of March. This is the second book in the Shadowhunters world. This in particular is the Mortal Instruments. The Shadowhunters world is an expansive, bigger world universe where you follow different characters in the same universe, but all of them interlock. I'm following a specific reading order that Emma Books, I think is her YouTube handle, you'll see it on the screen, but Emma Books suggests to read this in, and she is a very big fan of these books. The plot is good and I really enjoyed this one. This book I gave 4 stars and I seriously did enjoy it, but I just am not sure if I want to commit to reading the whole expansive world, because so far this is a series for me that I could put down and stop reading. And as horrible as that sounds, because some of my favourite booktubers love this series, it's one of those series that I think I could just put down and be happy with where I am with it. Shadowhunters universe basically are people that have the sight, and the sight is basically when you can see into the demon worlds and you can see the demons on the human world, and the Shadowhunters protect the humans from these demons or bad otherworlders, and they keep people in line. However, you kind of learn as you go through that the government's a little bit corrupt. There's a little bit of politics in here. You follow Clary Frey. She's coming out as a Shadowhunter. She's learning what that means for her. She has the sight, and she's kind of just going through this world and trying to figure out where she wants to place herself in it, I guess, and also just how she's going to fit in. Then, talking of the Shadowhunters world, after that huge long debrief on the whole world, I got into City of Glass as well. I actually read all 272 pages in one day, and then I put this book down because my life got really busy, had lots of coursework and lots of assessments, so I didn't have enough time. Definitely need to finish this off in the month of April, but like I said, I am definitely enjoying this book a lot more. The next book that I am partially through, which is The Assassin's Quest by Hobb, which is a thick-ass high epic fantasy series. This is part of the Elderling series, and this is the first trilogy. I actually listened to all of this on audio, my first ever audiobook. I had a month free trial of Audible, and I actually really enjoyed listening to this on Audible. I thought it was really good. I didn't have any issues with it. I actually remember what happened, and that was my biggest fear, is listening to it on audio, not being able to obtain the information and like remember what happened. I really like this world. We follow Fitzgerald, who is the bastard son of a king who then abducted the throne when he heard that his bastard son was coming to the throne / where they live. I don't really want to give away too much because this is a really in-depth story and you really have to have the dedication to want to read this. It's a really slow read, but Robin Hobb is not afraid to hurt her characters, and I will say it's soul destroying. Some of the things that have already happened in this book are so sad, and I have cried so many times in this series for Fitz. There's two types of magic. You have the skill and you have the wit. The skill is seen as a really positive thing. People need to have it. It's like hereditary and people are trained in it to help defend against the Red Ship Raiders. And then the wit is seen as a really bad thing. You're said to turn into a beast and you can be basically killed for. So those are the books that I read out of the ones that I set myself to read, because I don't even think I've got them all here, to be perfectly honest. I DNF'd one and I finished City of Ashes, and then I am currently reading the other two, so I technically read 3, but I know there was definitely 4 that I set myself to read. I'm just not sure which ones. I actually think it was maybe A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, but I've moved it over, so that's fine. Let's move on to my TBR for next month. So my TBR for next month will consist of finishing City of Glass, because I would really like to finish this. Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This I am very excited to read. I think this might have been the 4th book on my TBR for last month, but I've saved this for when I've fallen into a reading slump because I'm so excited to read this. And I think now is the right time for me to pick this book up. Here the synopsis says, enter a school of magic unlike any you have ever encountered. There are no teachers, no holidays, friendships are purely strategic, and the odds of survival are never equal. Once you're inside, there are only 2 ways out. You graduate or you die. Elle Higgins is uniquely prepared for the school's many dangers. She may be without allies, but she possesses a dark power strong enough to level mountains and wipe out untold millions. Never mind easily destroy the countless monsters that prowl the school, except she might accidentally kill all the other students too. So Elle is trying her hardest not to use it, that is, unless she has no other choice. With flawless mastery, Naomi Novik creates a heroine for the ages, a character so sharply realised and richly nuanced that she will live in the hearts and minds for generations to come. This is number 1, an absolutely stunning book. Number 2, you've got some beautiful artwork of the Scholomance School. I'm really excited to read this. The first line is something about the second time that someone saved her life, she knew that he had to die, so that is just killer. I don't know what powers she has. I haven't let myself know anything else other than the synopsis of this book, because I don't want to ruin it for myself, because I'm so bloody excited for this. Finally, I have Stephen King Misery, which another booktuber that I watch actually raves about this so much. Noelle Gallagher, I'll put her name over here. She raves about this book. This is one of her favourite Stephen King books. I have a really unbalanced history with Stephen King's book. I have one book that I gave a 5-star, one book that I gave 2 stars, and another of his that I DNF'd. So my track record with Stephen King is very like rollercoastery. However, this is something that I really am vibing right now. I'm vibing this kind of atmosphere, this type of genre, this type of read, I guess. Not even just Stephen King, but like the atmosphere that this is going to bring, hopefully. The synopsis says that Misery Chastian is dead. Paul Sheldon has just killed her, with relief, with joy. Misery made him rich. She was the heroine of a string of bestsellers, and now he wants to get on with some real writing. That's when the car accident happens, and he wakes in pain in a strange bed but isn't in hospital. Annie Wilkes has pulled him from the wreck, brought him to her remote mountain home, splintered and set his mangled legs. The good news is that Annie was a nurse and has pain-killing drugs. The bad news is she has long been Paul's #1 fan, and when she finds out that Paul has done what Paul has done to Misery, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it at all. So from what I understand, she's gonna torture him. From what I understand, that's what I understand. I really don't know where this is going. Again, I don't know much. I just know Noelle Gallagher raves about it and I trust her opinion, so I'm hoping that this is really good, and I'm really interested to read this. This is what my TBR looks like. A Deadly Education, Misery by Stephen King, and then the last 200 pages of City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. That is what my TBR is looking like. But that is everything for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel if you're new around here and would like to see more videos from me, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Bye.